another person who I do not trust at all for many reasons, because one of them being he's a sexual deviant. He's also been indicted for crimes by the state of Arizona, federal crimes, for which he was recently pardoned by President Donald Trump. I think it's fair to assume that a person who commits crimes in the past might commit crimes in the future, or I guess allegedly committed crimes. I think those court cases are still moving through. I think that's a perfectly logical assumption that a person who's involved in doing the wrong thing might keep it up. A person that seems motivated by money, a person who factually was in debt and was having his payments garnished at Turning Point USA, who then blinks and becomes a millionaire working for a charity, might be a little bit shady. I think Tyler Boyer, it is a logical conclusion that he is at best a very shady character. I'm going to stand by that. 10 toes down. Now, because I was hyper-fixed on Tyler Boyer, I decided to ask Erika in person during our sit down how she met Tyler. It was actually, I had 3 questions when I went in there that I wanted to get the answer to. That was actually my number 1 question.
All right. So this is what we're talking about today. And in my opinion, a lot of people like Baron, Ian, they spent a lot of time, understandably, talking about the ballistics, which is still, how Charlie Kirk was, unalived, all those different things, right? This is from Candace's live show yesterday. And she showed a picture of, I would say, because some people say it was like mess with or whatever, but she showed a picture of Charlie Kirk from the back, and they were showing that he was slumped over and there was no juice in the back. It was just in the front, right? And that's what a lot of people were talking about, and that's what a lot of people got from yesterday's live stream. But the thing that I got from yesterday's live stream is what I've been saying from day one. The reason why I got into this Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk, Turning Point USA saga was not because of the ballistics. It wasn't because of Charlie Kirk. Excuse me. It was because of the Tadpole traffic lights. And if you don't know what that means, somebody in the chat or somebody in the comments would let you know. Just say, what does Tadpole traffic lights mean? And somebody in the chat would gladly help you understand what that means. It's certain things that I can't say because my YouTube channel would get demonetized or something like that. So what Candace said yesterday, and I think she touched on it today also, is the corruption that has a lot to do with tadpoles. All right. So that's what we're going to talk about. Some of y'all are like, what does that mean? Somebody in the chat would help you. Just watch the chat. If you're saying, what does that mean? It's okay. Somebody in the chat is correcting, is helping you right now. Just read the chat, read the person behind you, and you'll be able to get it. Like I said, it's certain things I can't say, but shout out to the chat. They are here to help. Shout out to y'all helping the people, because y'all like, what does that mean? All right. So when I say tadpole traffic lights, I can't say certain things because YouTube doesn't like it. All right. So we're going to keep going on because this is so important to me in particular. So enough talk for me. Let's get back into it. But I just want y'all to understand the reason why this is so important. All right, so let's keep going.
Because I don't know much about the story of how Tyler met Charlie Kirk, and I now desperately wish that I remember, that I could remember what Charlie told me about that. How did they get linked up? And I felt that me asking Erika that question, she might be able to provide a lot of insights to who Tyler Boyer was.
And guess what? Erika Kirk lied like she always does. Hence the reason why we are here in the first place.
During the time he was with Charlie Kirk, why, maybe even before he was with Charlie Kirk, and why he got involved with Charlie Kirk. And of course, as we know, Erika knew Tyler for years before her and Charlie began dating, right? Both she and Tyler have been honest about that fact.
Now, a rumor has it, let's just say, a rumor has it, because we don't specifically know because it was so long ago. But, and this is the reason why we're here, rumor has it that Tyler Boyer may or may not have been in Romania with Erika Kirk when she was 17, 18, 19, or 20. I think she was there for like 2-3 years with her mother, Lori Fonzve, doing who knows what in Romania with the orphans. Not saying they were doing something with, I'm not saying that, but if you know, you know. And I'll give you a little extra information just in case you don't know, because a lot of y'all do. But let me just add something to this just so everybody is on the same page. And don't say we already seen this before, because not everybody has seen this. So I just want to give everybody a quick update on what was going on over in Romania. All right, just a quick update and we'll get back to it. Just 30 seconds.
Erika Kirk at her Romanian Angels charity back in 2013. It's important to note that at the end of this video, she thanks Colonel Busher, an alleged sex and human for partnering with her on this task of bringing gifts to these Romanian children. Colonel Busher III was an army officer who served as colonel and commander at the Black Sea Area Support Team for U.S. forces in Romania. Now, it's important to note that in November of 2019, a former translator at the base from the 2010s to the mid-2010s filed a criminal complaint with Romania's Anti-Organized Crime Directorate, otherwise known as DICOT. She accused Busher, along with U.S. Master Sergeant Lloyd Sparks and others, of involvement in an organized prostitution and human ring operating within the base during 2012 and 2013.
So that's just an update on, what we already know, because some people may not know. Okay. So the reason why we're here is to start putting things together and start realizing that all of this is bigger than Charlie Kirk. And the reason why it may look like why they got rid of Charlie Kirk is because of the Tadpoles. And it's like nobody cares about that. Everybody wants to talk about ballistics, which is cool. How was he killed? What happened? This fell off here. Cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But in my opinion, it's more about the why he was unalived versus the how he was unalived. And put a 1 in the chat if you see that as more important than how. The why. The why is more important. Yes, I think Charlie Kirk found out about what Tyler Boyer was doing and what Erika Kirk was doing, what Erika's mom was doing, and he started asking questions. But put a 1 in the chat if you think the why is more important than how.
Trump's 2015 president as an event where the two of them attended together, right? Standing behind Donald Trump in Arizona at his 2015.
She's talking about Tyler Boyer and Erika Kirk and how Erika Kirk lied right in front of Candace's face saying, hey, when did you meet Tyler Boyer? And all of this is leading to the inevitable, which is the Tadpole traffic lights.
July rally, which I should mention also her mother, Lori Franzve, is in the background. So the three of them have known each other since at least July 2015.
And what's crazy is Lori Franzve is everywhere. You look at Erika Kirk, you like, damn, she's everywhere. Lori is everywhere also. She's everywhere.
Publicly.
See, there's Lori right there. Right along with Erika. Right around, I forgot who this dude is. We identified this guy, but the thing about it is Erika and Lori are like two peas in a pod. And that is dangerous because there's a lot of things that Lori was involved with. And for those who have dated women, because some of y'all are women, I want y'all to think about this. Let me show y'all something. What's going on? Oh.
Just in case you're wondering, this is Erika Kirk's ex-boyfriend, Cabot Phillips.
Hold on. What's going on? Why won't you show up on the screen? All right, I'll remove that. All right, here we go. Okay, so
Cabot?
Right here. This is Lori Fronsby. This is Erika Kirk and Cabot Phillips.
Just in case you're wondering, this is Erika Kirk's ex-boyfriend, Cabot Phillips.
And as you can see, they were together in 2018, 9 months before Erika Kirk got with Charlie Kirk. Now, you may say, okay, what does that have to do with? Well, one, all of the things that are intertwined with this. In the thumbnail, you see that Cabot Phillips literally has pizza written right here. And we all know what pizza means. So somebody that is into pizza is hanging out with Erika Kirk and Erika Kirk's mom. And then when you look at Tyler Boyer and all the things that he has done or allegedly has done, according to what Candace has said, because some of the other things are still going on. And for those who don't know, she also said, this is crazy because y'all may have missed this, but Donald Trump pardoned Tyler Boyer. And the thing that he pardoned him on were some of the things that everybody is accusing Donald Trump of that are in the Epstein files. So Donald Trump, who is accused of certain things, pardoned Tyler Boyer. Do you see how all of this is mixed in? So sometimes we have to take a second and step away from the who unalived Charlie Kirk stuff in order to find out why they unalived him. So let's keep going. So this is and then there's a little kid and there's Tyler Boyer. So it's Erika Kirk, some other dude, some child. There's a child right next to them that she's about to kneel down and tie their shoe. So it's Erika Kirk, Tyler Boyer, some dude's kid that Erika Kirk is, I don't know, looking out for, helping, tying the shoe. Tyler Boyer, all right behind none other than Donald Trump. And a lot of y'all seen this before, but what I'm doing is I'm putting all the pieces together. So you see that whoever the kid is, she's close to the kid. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe she was dating this guy. I don't know. But she's close to the kid because she's kind of tending to him. She kneels down and ties his shoe at one point. But the kid is not the point.
And that was until I hosted the first Trump rally in Trump rally history right here in Arizona in 2015.
So right here, 2015.
I got a call from Miss Erika Kirk, Miss Arizona 2012. I just want to help.
And Tyler Boyer is talking.
She said. So naturally, I put her right behind the president at that first rally.
As you guys probably know, Tyler Boyer stepped into the COO role at TPUSA in 2017. And not long after that, he arranged what was framed as a professional job interview between Erika and Charlie, although that interview somehow turned into their first date. But before that introduction ever happened, Erika wasn't single, wasn't searching, and wasn't living the story she later sold to the public. She was in an active relationship with Cabot Phillips, a detail that became impossible to ignore once people started pulling timelines instead of quotes. And Cabot isn't just some random random ex. At the same time, Charlie was publicly clashing with Ben Shapiro over alleged political pressure and donor influence. Cabot was working directly under Shapiro as a senior editor at the Daily Wire.
Cabot was operating directly under Ben Shapiro.
Into the same circles Charlie openly said were targeting him. That alone raises questions. But it doesn't stop there. An old tweet from Cabot resurfaced showing him and Erika on a painting date, posted in September 2017. The caption, "Yes, we're that couple that gets painting lessons together," casually confirming they were together right when Erika claims her life was quiet, disciplined, and untouched by dating. Even more uncomfortable, photos from that same period show Cabot and Charlie socializing, playing basketball, and moving in the same spaces, which makes Erika's claim that she randomly met Charlie a year later start to fall apart. And once that detail clicked for people, the speculation shifted fast. Because if Erika was dating Cabot while being introduced to Charlie through Bowyer, then the window for when those alleged photos were taken suddenly becomes very clear. And when you factor in that those images didn't resurface until Charlie was gone and Erika was finally under real scrutiny, the timing stops feeling coincidental. Now here's where everything falls apart for Erika. Since her name started making the headlines, she's been able to avoid any serious scrutiny by slapping a pound of makeup on and making the fireworks at her next tour stop even brighter. But now it's looking like she's finally met the one thing she can't outrun or mask with makeup:
her own past.
Since people started whispering about those photos, TPUSA has allegedly sent some internal memos around with words like emergency meeting and leadership restructuring floating around. Long story short, Erika is about to lose her position as CEO, the same one she jumped into before Charlie's body was even cold in the ground. And while
All right, so right there, I'm fast forwarding because some of this got AI in it, so I don't know what the hell that was. So let me fast forward a little bit because I don't want to misrepresent Erika or anybody else. So I don't agree with that part right there. I didn't see that part. So I don't agree with that part.
family personally, and allege they ran a cult-like megachurch in Leesburg.
All right, so let me back up because a lot of this is true, but I just want to make sure what's not true is not true.
Background, including a Reddit post from someone who claimed to know the Phillips family personally and alleged they ran a cult-like megachurch in Leesburg, Virginia. A claim that raised eyebrows once people noticed Cabot's brother listed on Cornerstone Chapel's own website as an assistant pastor overseeing middle school youth. And
Okay, Cornerstone, and then hold on, let me back up because this is very important right here. This is very important. Remember, it's all about the Tadpoles, and nobody wants to talk about the Tadpoles. So let me back it up. This is very important.
player and the former head of Americans for Prosperity, until he was abruptly forced out in 2021 for what the organization vaguely labeled personal impropriety, offering no real explanation beyond a carefully worded statement and total silence afterward. That same silence shows up again when people start digging into Cabot's background, including a Reddit post from someone who claimed to know the Phillips family personally and alleged they ran a cult-like megachurch in Leesburg, Virginia, a claim that raised eyebrows once people noticed.
Now listen to this. Listen to this.
Cabot's brother listed on
Cabot's brother,
Cornerstone Chapel's own website.
Cornerstone Chapel, which is one of these Calvary Chapel churches. Remember, Calvary Chapel Church, like hundreds or either thousands of these Calvary Chapel churches have allegations, I would just say. So listen.
As an assistant pastor overseeing middle school youth. And then there's the
middle school youth
detail people can't stop circling back to: Cabot's pizza tattoo, which wouldn't mean anything on its own except for
So Cabot's brother is a pastor at one of these Calvary churches. And now Cabot, who is dating Erika Kirk, is also working for Turning Point USA that will potentially be the next Charlie Kirk. Do you see how all of this is coming together? But it's coming from these Calvary church cults.
the fact that Charlie openly talked about believing pizza was used as coded language by evil people to mask their disturbing activities. Stack that on top of Cabot's ties to those very people. And suddenly the question isn't just why Cabot introduced Erika to Charlie. It's whether he already had leverage in his pocket when he did it. Because if the
Right. Cabot already had leverage. Why? Because he was over there with the place that Daily Wire. He was already over at the Daily Wire. See, the Daily Wire had Candace. So the Daily Wire was huge. And Cabot Phillips was over there at the Daily Wire. So Cabot Phillips actually had a lot of leverage just in this game. So what Turning Point USA was allegedly doing, they were pruning people from other places. Blake Neff. Where's Blake Neff from? Blake Neff was the alleged racist writer for Tucker Carlson. And then you got Cabot Phillips from the Daily Wire. So they were literally picking terrible people on purpose and then adding them to Turning Point USA. You know exactly what they're doing because they're doing it over there. And then you bring them over to your stuff so they can do it over here. So none of this is happenstance. The churches, the places everybody used to work at, like, why him? He was at a Daily Wire.
On top of Cabot's ties to those very people. And suddenly the question isn't just why Cabot introduced Erika to Charlie. It's whether he already had leverage in his pocket when he did it. Because if the
So either Cabot or Tyler Boyer, one of the two or both of them, introduced Erika Kirk to Charlie Kirk or told her to go after him. Why? Why? See, it's about the why and not about the how.
timeline lines up, then those photos didn't just exist quietly for years by accident. And the idea that they resurfaced only now starts to feel less random and a lot more deliberate. Now that Erika's image is shattered, she's looking to the people who swore they had her back for support, but they're acting like they don't know her. However, those photos didn't surface randomly, and the same names keep showing up at every turning point, which is why the only question hanging in the air now is whether Erika is finally being exposed for good, or someone is just pulling the leverage they have over her.
Pulling the leverage they have over her. So now let's go back to what Candace Owens was saying. Let me back it up a little bit. All right, so here we go.
So I asked Erika how she met him. Her answer was,
I asked Erika how she met him, which is Tyler Boyer. So we're back to this. I asked Erika, how did she meet or when did she meet Tyler Boyer? And she lied.
that she met him at the 2015 rally because they were both standing behind Trump. And I immediately corrected her. I said, that's not possible. It's not possible because Tyler discussed knowing you already at the, if we're calling it funeral rally, do people, I don't even know if that's kind of what it was, like a funeral political rally. Tyler got on stage and he told the audience that Erika had called him asking how she could get involved and that he then made a decision to put her behind Donald Trump. Here is Tyler making that statement in his own words at Charlie Kirk's memorial.
At his wedding, I told the story of talking Charlie into moving to Arizona.
I talked Charlie into moving to Arizona. I talked Charlie into moving him and Turning Point USA to Arizona. Does anybody want to know the significance of Arizona? I'm going to give y'all a second. Does anybody know the significance of Arizona? Why do you think Tyler Boyer, who was the longest tenured person to work or executive to work at Turning Point USA, do you know why he wanted him to go and move to Arizona and build Turning Point USA in Arizona? Why Arizona out of all places? I'll give y'all a second. Someone said they cash at me. I'll check the cash out right now. Does anybody know? Arizona is close to the border. Arizona is close to the border. Arizona is close to the border. And let me play this too. Arizona is close to the border. This shit is getting worse and worse and worse. I want to show y'all something. Give me a second. All right, here we go. I want to show y'all something real quick. So we talk about dates and times. So this is, of course, Erika and her mother, Lori Fronsby, right? So as it moved forward, this is hold Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on a second. So shout out to Allie. She's the one who puts all this together. Okay. So this is what I was looking for right here. So these are the Farnsworths, which is the cameraman. And what me and Allie talked about the other night is that the Farnsworths, the Boyers, and the Fransvies all knew each other way before they knew Charlie Kirk, or Charlie Kirk knew them, I would say. So that is important for y'all to understand, because all of this seems to be something that was all set up. So that's Tyler Farnsworth's wife. And why is everybody's name Tyler? Tyler Boyer, Tyler Farnsworth, Tyler Robinson. There was a Tyler that was in the music video with Erika Kirk. Why the hell is everybody named Tyler? It's the border, yes. So as you can see, so I'm gonna make this a little bigger. I want to show y'all something. There's a date somewhere that I've seen. Let me back it up. Where's the date? Where's the date? You see that at the bottom? January 20th, 2009. Now, Erika Kirk is not in this picture, and Charlie is not in this picture. But I want y'all to make sure y'all see at the bottom it says January 20th, 2009. So I'm showing y'all that these people have known each other for decades. The whole family knows each other. And shout out to Allie. Allie shared this with us the other day. So this is tarot right here. So a lot of these people were very close to each other and close to each other's family.
I'm going to be honest, I am not familiar with this one. I got to do some research. Be right back. No way. All right, apparently a gazing party is where members of the opposite sex are at a party and they line up in the room facing each other, fully clothed. Then the lights are turned off for a short amount of time to allow everybody to get fully nude. Then they flip the lights on for a few seconds so that you can gaze at the other naked bodies in the room. And then lights are turned back off, everyone gets dressed, and that's it. It did say this might be a folklore, it might be fairy tale, and
that was a rumor that was going on with them, whether it's right or wrong, whether they were adults. But as you can see, I don't think they were. I'm just not going to say nothing. But gazing parties, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. But let's get back to Candace. I'm just giving y'all the background.
Boy, I needed to break that. Selfishly, I wanted him to love Arizona because I had recently convinced him to move Turning Point USA to Arizona. It was a hard sell at first, and that was until I hosted the first Trump rally in Trump rally history right here in Arizona in 2015. I got a call from Miss Erika Kirk.
He got a call from Miss Erika Kirk.
Miss Arizona 2012. I just want to help, she said. So naturally, I put her right behind the president at that first rally.
So I put her right behind the president at that first rally. She literally lied to Candace and said, I met him at the rally. But he said, I met her and then I put her behind the president at her first rally.
Okay. So she called, she said, I wanted to help, and he put her behind the president. So I'm sitting with her and she doesn't remember how she met him, but she said that she would look back through old messages because, like me, she never deletes any of her messages. And she thought maybe, specifically, she said that they had a connection in politics via a senator or a congressman. That's what she.
Tadpole traffic lights is we don't got a little farther into the video so I could say a little something. It's kids. That's one part, and I'll tell you the other part in a second.
She said. Now, in hindsight, after that meeting, because I have continued to prod the narrative on Terrell and Tyler, I believe that's accurate. I thought, that's interesting. Who were the congressmen? Who were the congressmen that Tyler maybe knew? Well, I should tell you guys that Terrell Farnsworth and Tyler Boyer go back. They go way back. I'm talking generationally back, okay? Terrell Farnsworth's parents went to high school with Tyler Boyer's parents. They're all from Chandler, Arizona.
This is what I'm saying right here. Shout out to Allie Top Files. So this is what I'm saying right here. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So what I'm doing is confirming everything that Candace is saying. So let's just keep going. Just want to make sure y'all are all on the same page.
And Tyler Boyer and Terrell Farnsworth.
And the other part of that is trafficking. I tried to separate the words. So the other part is trafficking. To the people who ask me what the traffic lights means, trafficking.
Went to high school
So put the two words together and you'll get it.
together. They graduated, it looks like 2 years apart from Gilbert High School. So these two are thicker than thieves. They are overtly political, obviously. In fact, at that very same Trump rally in 2015, Tyler Boyer introduces himself as the youngest chairman of the Republican Party. He's very involved in Arizona politics. And like he said, he's telling the truth. He was the reason that Charlie decided to put Turning Point USA's campus in Arizona. Charlie's from Chicago, right?
Cheryl, you're saying you want to contact Allie. Just send her a DM. I don't understand. Like, Allie is not going to call you. She don't know who you are, Cheryl. So send her a DM. Her Instagram is Allie Top Files, and send her a DM and talk to her. I'm talking to somebody that is in the chat, Cheryl, who is sending me cash apps telling me to say she needs to talk to Allie. DM her. It's Allie Top Files. Like,
That's where they first started Turning Point USA in Chicago. Tyler has been driving this bus and, like I said, hiring the people around Charlie Kirk.
Like I said from the beginning, the number one person that was in charge of hiring all of these people was Tyler Boyer.
Except for me. That really just, I was the anomaly. We really just met. And I wonder if it would have happened if, Tyler was there. Anyways.
And the significance of that is because Tyler Boyer is one of the main people that, like I said, he got pardoned for certain sexual misconduct. He was about to go to prison. There are other people in Turning Point USA that have done prison time. L2 Design says, sent the lawyer Lori stalking photo. They are tracking people's kids. And yeah. I have that. I gotta remember. It's in my phone. I actually have that. Thank you for that. You're the one that sent it to me.
The point here is that Tyler Boyer was very well acquainted, obviously, with Terrell on a familial basis. And he was very close with Terrell's family, particularly Terrell's uncles and cousins. Terrell's father is a man named Dwayne Farnsworth, and his first cousins are longtime Arizona Congressman Eddie Farnsworth. I believe he left office in 2022. And also his brother, Eddie's brother, is David Farnsworth. So just to reiterate that, you have Senator David Farnsworth. He's still in office. You have Eddie Farnsworth, who was the chairman of the state House Judiciary.
Do you see how all of these Farnsworths, this is the reason why Terrell Farnsworth was able to get rid of the SD cards without having to deal with any issues. Because just like Erika's family, his whole family runs everything, just like Erika's family.
And those two men are brothers and first cousins with Dwayne Farnsworth, who is Terrell's father. and they are extremely close to Tyler. In fact, Eddie has actually been sued in the past with Tyler. Like, they're on the same side. They are being sued together. You can go back.
Y'all see that? Every single thing is all them. There's never a time that I've ever heard of a single person starting a company and then your friend brings in all of his friends, and then you turn around and marry your friend's friend, which is Erika. Because like I said, like she said, like we all said, Erika knew Tyler Boyer way before Charlie Kirk ever heard of Erika. And Tyler Boyer is the one who talked Charlie Kirk into bringing Turning Point USA to Arizona. And why Arizona? Like I said earlier, because it's close to the border. The traffic lights. All of this shit is disgusting. But it all starts with two people, Erika Kirk and Tyler Boyer.
And you can mine all of this. He has known that family for a very long time. Anyway, in 2014, Senator David Farnsworth introduced Erika's mother to the House floor with concerns over EMPs. Okay.
Remember, EMPs, electromagnetic pulses, and that's what her company specializes in. Erika Kirk's mother.
At the time, David Farnsworth was actually sponsoring the bill, which
sponsoring the bill. So the Farnsworths were in charge of letting bills come through to give Lori Fronsby the ability to do stuff. They're passing bills to damn Arizona. This shit is crazy. All of this going on right behind Charlie Kirk's. This shit is crazy.
Which would involve introducing Lori, who was then the CEO of G-Tech Industries. And Eddie Farnsworth is also listed as having voted on this particular bill. They got it passed through. So,
and did anybody know? Y'all ready for this? Coach Collins said this. I trust him, but I want to do some more research. But did anybody know, shout out to Coach Collins, that Erika Kirk's father is on a board of Turning Point USA? Erika Kirk's father is on the board? What? This is what I'm saying. This whole thing is controlled by other people other than Charlie Kirk when he was alive.
The three of these people knew each other. You know, Eddie, Lori, and Dave. And you can see here at the top, when you look at the members present, it says.
So Lori Fronsby, this is before Erika. Lori, the mother, knew the Farnsworths, knew the Boyers. And this kind of like explains why and how Lori Fronsby had her daughter, Erika Kirk, or Erika Fronsby, out in Romania doing this weirdo shit with orphans and the military. Because they know everybody. And then here comes goofy Charlie Kirk. Hey guys, what's wrong? What's going on? And everybody knows except for him. Imagine being in a room when everybody in the room is 100 people in the room. They know something, and you're the only person that doesn't. You're like, hey guys, what y'all in here doing? Oh, nothing. This is crazy. Everybody knows except for Charlie.
E. Farnsworth, Mr. That is Eddie Farnsworth.
Lori Fronsby was hanging out with Tyler Boyer and all the Farnsworths before Charlie Kirk was even around.
And then if you scroll down, if you see here, it's telling you who's sponsoring this bill. That is David Farnsworth. And it says
Sponsoring the bill, David Farnsworth.
that he became concerned about a potential for an EMP event a short time ago, and he got support from Congressman Trent Franks, and it then tells us that he introduced Larry Ginta, Chuck Lee, and Lori Francey, the C.
And we are still talking about the tadpoles. I'm just simply showing you how everybody is so connected to all of this. There's no way in this world they would have allowed Charlie Kirk to come in and say, no, we're not doing this. Excuse me? That's kind of like going to a group of 100 people saying, hey, everybody get out. Who are you? Who you think you're talking to?
CEO of G Tech Industries. Larry Ginta, by the way, or Gwinta, I don't know if I'm saying that right, is Erika's stepfather. So they've known each other. The Farnsworths, the Boyers, and the Francevis have known each other at least since 2014. On paper, we could keep looking and go backwards, but it is very...
Once again, for the people who just came in, I just want to show y'all. This is 2009. Send this to Candace, because this might help Candace in what she's doing. This is 2009. We got to go way back. 2000. What is that? January 20th. You might as well say 2008. January 20th, 2009. 2009, y'all. Whole family. So just want to, make sure y'all understand. Way before 2015, 14, 13.
Obviously, given how close Tyler Boyer is to these men, that they all knew each other going back to 2014. I think likely earlier, if I am being honest. I have an indication that it was actually earlier, but this is on paper. So let's stick to the facts. Anyways, Eddie Farnsworth is an interesting character.
So now we're going to get into talking about the tadpoles again.
Because the year prior in 2013, Eddie Farnsworth was, as I said, the chair of the House Judiciary Committee. And he caused a bit of a kerfluffle in the state because for some unknown reason.
Y'all ready? Drum roll, please. Back it up again. Drum roll, please. You already know what's about to happen. You already know what she's about to say.
Farnsworth was, as I said, the chair of the House Judiciary Committee.
Hold on. What Farnsworth? Which Farnsworth? There's so many of them.
So let's stick to the facts. Anyways, Eddie Farnsworth is an interesting
Eddie Farnsworth. Keep that in mind. Eddie Farnsworth.
Character. Because the year prior in 2013, Eddie Farnsworth was, as I said, the chair of the House Judiciary Committee. And he caused a bit of a kerfluffle in the state because for some unknown reason, he blocked a hearing on a bill to prevent child trafficking. And he was the wrong.
There we go. There we go. There we go. And it's the Farnsworths. So the Boyers, the Farnsworths, and the Francevys, whatever you want to call them, all have their hands in the same thing. All of them. And I got way more proof than this. We just got started. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the like button. We got so much more. We just
everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
All right. So let's keep going. It only gets worse from here, y'all.
Wrong person to do this because he had been in the news years earlier because his nephew, Albert Farnsworth.
Oh, are y'all keeping track on all these Farnsworths? Let me back it up a little bit because it's crazy.
Farnsworth was, as I said, the chair of the House Judiciary Committee. And he caused a bit of a kerfluffle in the state because for some unknown reason, he blocked a hearing on a bill to prevent child trafficking. And he was the wrong person to do this because he had been in the news years earlier because his nephew, Albert Farnsworth, to 13-year-old. Okay.
Oh.
Now on this topic of this.
Now y'all see what I'm saying? How is so many different people involved in pizza? What the hell? Albert Farnsworth, all these damn Farnsworths, all these Boyers, all these Franz, they're all doing the same thing. So when you look at all of this information and say, what if the Romanian Angels thing didn't happen? How do we really know? Do you really have any receipts on all of this? Is it all just make believe? Are y'all just making up stuff? Was Erika actually over there in Romania with her mom doing all this stuff with the freaking military? Maybe, maybe not. But then when you start seeing that their besties are doing the same shit, when you find out what happened to Colonel Busher, forget about Erika Kirk. What about Colonel Busher?
This child trafficking bill, which he didn't bring it down to the floor for a vote.
He did not bring it down to the floor for a vote. Why not? We all know why. Not.
And it had support from Democrats and Republicans because it is a problem in this state. Child sex trafficking is a problem in the state of Arizona.
Now, listen, remember I said Arizona is next to the border and it is famous for tadpole traffic lights. And remember, I did say Tyler Boyer said it himself. He did everything he could to get Charlie Kirk to bring Turning Point USA and have it in Arizona. Y'all see that, right? It's all coming together now because they run the policies in Arizona, y'all. See, the thing about it is they run the policies there. They can get shit passed through. They can get laws passed. They can get certain things denied. Tyler Boyer literally got let off the hook by the president of the United States. He got a pardon. All of this stuff is right in the middle of child, and y'all want to sit around and talk about who shot who. Who cares? Why is the reason? That's the thing we got to focus on. The kids, y'all.
At least since 2014 on paper, we could keep looking and go backwards, but it is very likely, obviously, given how
they are in charge of all of the policies in Arizona.
I think likely earlier, if I am being honest. I have an indication that it was actually earlier, but this is on paper. So let's stick to the facts. Anyways, Eddie Farnsworth is an interesting character because the year prior in 2013, Eddie Farnsworth was, as I said, the chair of the House Judiciary Committee. And he caused a bit of a kerfluffle in the state because for some unknown reason, he blocked a hearing on a bill to prevent child trafficking. And he was the wrong person to do this because he had been in the news years earlier because his nephew, Albert Farnsworth, to 13-year-old. Okay.
His nephew. Shit is crazy.
Now, on this topic of this child trafficking bill, which he didn't bring it down to the floor for a vote. And
he didn't bring it down to the floor for a vote. And then you turn around and bring Nicki Minaj on stage and give her a big hug, Erika Kirk, when her little brother, Nicki Minaj, her little brother was accused, he's presently in prison for the same thing that Eddie's nephew is convicted of or accused of. And on top of that, and I know Nicki Minaj is catching a stray, but it is what it is. Nicki Minaj's husband went to prison for the same shit. So her little brother is in prison and her husband went to prison for the same exact thing that Eddie Farnsworth's nephew got accused of. It's all the same shit.
had support from Democrats and Republicans because it is a problem in this state. Child sex trafficking is a problem.
As you can see, it's an actual problem in Arizona.
The state of Arizona, because the border is there, because the border is there, because the border is there. And they were trying to do something about it to make it so that it was less easy for people to children.
And they blocked it. They blocked the bill that was going to make it harder for blankers to do this to tadpoles. And the Farnsworths blocked it.
I think specifically ages 15 and 16. And I want to say that never in my life, in my political life, have I worked on a single story where a theme of
Tadpole traffic lights.
trafficking has emerged more. I've never seen it in my life. Okay.
This is the reason why I'm in this. Shout out to Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace. Yeah, he was hit by 30-06 or electrocuted or shot with an arrow, whatever. Okay, yes, I get it. We can pontificate all we want to. But when are we going to stop for a second and say something is going on with Turning Point USA? And I'm not saying Turning Point USA is doing something. I'm saying that they keep affiliating themselves with people that are convicted and accused of doing something. I just want y'all to think, what if somebody like expose me, Mr. Let Go exposed, where all his friends are tadpole traffic lighters? When you look at me like, yo, your friends are convicted of this and your friend is convicted of that, when you start looking at me like, we don't trust you anymore. So how in the world can we sit here and look at Erika Kirk, Tyler Boyer, any of the Farnsworths, Rob McCoy, with a straight face and say, I trust you with my money. I'm going to donate money to why? Because we're going to get into Rob McCoy also. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Rob McCoy done just pulled away and tried to disappear for a minute. But no, Rob, I see you. I'm on your ass, Rob McCoy. Don't be trying to hide now. Ain't nobody talking about Rob McCoy no more. I'm bringing his ass back up.
Whether it's the people who own the planes, remember the 888 plane, they run an anti-child trafficking charity. Also in their profile pictures, they're wearing a t-shirt from another child trafficking charity, Operation Underground. And you will recall that following the assassination, Phil Lyman was speaking to the guy that used to run, I'm blanking on his name, Tim Ballard. That's his name, Tim Ballard. He used to run Operation Underground because he had gotten donation and support from Glenn Beck for Operation Underground. He was involved in that. I remember because I interviewed Tim Ballard about Operation Underground. Fort Huachuca Base, which has randomly come up because of Mitch.
Fort Huachuca Base. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Fort Huachuca Base is connected to tadpole traffic lights also. All of this talk about Fort Huachuca, all of this, Mitch that, Fort Huachuca. Not one person brought up tadpole traffic lights. Not one. Because nobody seems to care. Fort Huachuca allegedly is involved with tadpole traffic lights and is documented. Let's keep going. See, all of this means everything. All of this is connected to everything else.
In general, they also are caught up in a child ring. That's a real story.
See? It's documented. It's real. I'm still saying allegedly. I'm sorry. I'm still going to say allegedly.
For Operation Underground. He was involved in that. I remember because I interviewed Tim Ballard about Operation Underground. Fort Huachuca Base, which has randomly come up because of Mitch in general.
And because of Lori Fransby. And when we heard that Erika Kirk was there, I was like, why would Erika Kirk be there? I was thinking Erika Kirk was at the actual base and she's standing there with all the military people. No, she was at the hotel, which makes all of the sense in the world. Lori Franzvi, Erika Kirk. This is where the whole operation is. This is what the whole operation is. Fort Huachuca. So when you look at Romanian angels and say, man, what are you talking about? You don't have no proof that they was doing A, B, and C over there with Colonel Busher, even though we do have proof of what they were doing over there with Colonel Busher, but y'all just want to act like it didn't happen. Well, guess what? Now it looks like they're at Fort Huachuca now. They were at the base over there with Colonel Busher. Now they found another dummy to start putting together some stuff over at Fort Huachuca.
They also are caught up in a child ring. That's a
See? Fort Huachuca.
real story that has been an issue at Huachuca base. And I'm showing you this article from CBS News. U.S.
Right here. Right here. Put on the big screen. Put on the big screen. Look at this shit, y'all. Look at this shit. Fort Huachuca.
Story that has been an issue at Huachuca base. And I'm showing you this article from CBS News. U.S. Army missed the red flags about a civilian leader who led a child ring and risked U.S. security. That person's name was David Rodsham. He was a top civilian. This is
Oh, shit. Sorry.
David Farnsworth. So just to reiterate, and Lori Franzvi, the CEO.
Hold on.
Mr.
Sorry, y'all.
They are being sued to reduced Erika's mother to the House floor with concerns over to hearing on a bill
Here it is.
the year
right
prior in 2013 because it is a
Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. I just messed something up. All right, so here it is right here. Sorry, y'all.
randomly come up because of Mitch. In general, they also are caught up in a child ring. That's a real story that has been an issue at Huachuca base. And I'm showing you this article from CBS News. U.S. Army missed the red flags about a civilian leader who led a child ring and risked U.S. security. That person's name was David Rodsham. He was a top civilian commander at a U.S. airbase in Afghanistan. You can go on and you can see that it says that after he left his post, he returned to Fort Huachuca, which is a major Army installation in Arizona, blah, blah, blah. There is also Fort Huachuca base, which gets involved in a scandal relating to child where Turning Point USA has their base, where they actually decided to put the campus, if you will, Turning Point USA, just outside, literally across the way. There's a place known as Arizona Mills, which is like the #1 place for child sex, just like across the street. I want to be very clear here.
Across the freaking street. Like, and speaking of across the street, just want to stop right here. Speaking of across the street, the Romanian Angels Orphanage, in Romania that Erika Kirk was running was 20 minutes away from the military base that Colonel Busher was at. Just in case anybody is like, yo, you reaching. This doesn't make any sense. Romanian Angels Orphanage was 20 minutes away from the base in Romania that Colonel Busher was in charge of. I want to show y'all something. We're going to get back to that, but I want to show y'all something. How these people strategically put themselves in the area in which they can get away with the things that they want or need to get away with. I think I still got this. Yeah, it's right here. This is Diddy. All right. So I'm not going off on a tangent, but just watch this for a second. This is Diddy.
How close Diddy's house is.
So the reason why I'm showing you this is because Fort Huachuca is across the street for some stuff. The Romanian Angels orphanage was 20 minutes away from the base. They always put things right next to something else so they can just, make sure everything is nice and pinned up, Wow.
This video shows us how close Diddy's house is to these ports, but not only Diddy's.
Now, the ports, for those who don't know, is how you transport something or somebody to another country without anybody knowing. Goes out on a boat. The ports.
House, but other celebrities.
So this is Diddy's house, and look how close the port.
This video shows us how close Diddy's house is to these ports, but not only Diddy's house, but other celebrities that are being named in a list of people associated with Diddy. And that includes Jennifer Lopez, which I found to be really interesting because I feel like we all forgot that she had dated Diddy back in the 90s. Now, what does this video prove? Technically, nothing at all. They just live next to a port. Okay. But some people do believe that there's been child trafficking.
Whoa. Sorry, I don't want nobody to go say anything. So I'm gonna make it silent. So I took the sound off because he was saying some crazy stuff. So give it a second. See, I was talking about this stuff during the Diddy stuff. So that's where the port comes.
Did y'all see
issue going on in our ports right now, and I just wanted to speak.
So the ports were closed down for a certain amount of time because they kept hearing noises.
Right now, and I just wanted to speak on it because I don't think a lot of people understand why they're striking. One of the major reasons I've been seeing coming out of videos and reports from people talking about it is that they get tired of hearing children screaming inside the containers.
So I just wanted to show y'all that. So what people tend to do, or these nasty people, they tend to be right across the street from ports, right down the street from these bases, in order to make it easy to transport tadpoles from one place to another without anybody seeing anything. And somebody brought up tunnels. And we're going to get back to Candace in a second, but I'm just trying to show y'all that this is not just about Diddy. I mean, not just about Turning Point USA. This is a thing that keeps happening.
So actually, like every time I walk past his house.
So this is another one of Diddy's houses. The other house was in Miami. This house is in LA. This is Diddy's house in LA. This one is close to something also. Watch this.
Psychic medium. So actually, like every time I walk past his house, and obviously the Playboy Mansion's right there, and we know about the tunnels that
the Playboy Mansion and the tunnels
connect from the Playboy Mansion
to here.
I'm sure they connect.
Playboy Mansion may have had secret underground tunnels connecting it to homes under some of the biggest stars in the 1970s. Diddy purchased one of the houses right next to the Playboy Mansion. And guess what? There's a possibility that those tunnels were being utilized. It's the same thing with this Charlie Kirk Turning Point USA stuff, y'all. $40 million Homely Hills estate near the Playboy Mansion. According to the story, secret tunnels running from the Playboy Mansion to the homes. We already seen that already. Or said that.
you and Jack Nicholson had your own secret passageway into the Playboy Mansion?
No.
Is that true?
Well, I think the story was printed that there was a tunnel.
Playboy.com staff members released some blueprints that they found a few years ago that show underneath the Playboy Mansion is a series of tunnels that were constructed to link Hugh Hefner's world-famous domicile to the homes of Jack Nicholson, James Caan, Kirk Douglas, and Warren Beatty. The blueprints, which show that the construction project was built in the 70s and 80s, were discovered in the Playboy archives by staff writers looking for a juicy story.
Now dig this, a photo from the late 70s.
So y'all get an understanding of what was going on there, right? So now we can go back to Candace and then everything would make sense. Because what Candace is about to say is going to confirm what's going on with Turning Point USA is possibly going on with what Diddy was doing.
Major Army installation in Arizona, blah, blah, blah. There is also Fort Huachuca base, which gets involved in a scandal relating to child where Turning Point USA has their base, where they actually decided to put the campus, if you will, Turning Point
The campus
USA, just outside, literally across the way. There's a place known as Arizona Mills, which is like the #1 place for child sex. Just like,
and where is it?
Across the street.
Across the street. That is my point. They always put things right across the street from other things in order to be able to go underground so nobody can see what they're doing. There's underground tunnels all over, especially in Arizona.
There's a place known as Arizona Mills, which is like the #1 place for child sex. Just like across the street. I want to be very clear here. I'm saying that I'm making no connection there. I am not suggesting that Turning Point USA is traffic. I just want to be very clear. I'm just saying that everywhere I look in this story, themes of child come up. Okay. Post, he returned to Fort Huachuca, which is a major Army installation in Arizona, blah, blah, blah. There is also Fort Huachuca base, which gets involved in a scandal relating to child where Turning Point USA has their base, where they actually decided to put the campus, if you will, Turning Point USA, just outside, literally across the way.
And you got to remember, I've shown you plenty videos of the type of people that are on the campuses of Turning Point USA, the people that they look to bring in high schoolers. So they have high schoolers on this campus right across the street from Fort Huachuca. I wonder why. Just in case anybody's like, yo, you reaching, you just making up stuff. You can't make up this much stuff.
There's a place known as Arizona Mills, which is like the #1 place for child sex. Just like across the street. I want to be very clear.
Right across the street. Why? Why?
Clear here. I'm saying that I'm making no connection there. I am not suggesting that Turning.
Is Arizona. See, Arizona is a desert. Arizona is a desert. It's a desert. They have more tunnels underground than anywhere else because it's a desert. Lots of tunnels in Arizona. Usually the media claims that drugs, but it's most likely for tadpoles. Yes. This is the reason why Tyler Boyer literally coerced or talked Charlie Kirk into running Turning Point USA and putting the campus in Arizona because of the tunnels. But nobody wants to talk about the tunnels. They want to talk about, oh, he got shot like this. He got shot like, who cares? When are we going to talk about the children? And it may just be me. I can't make nobody do nothing. And I'm talking about the children. So that's enough. But all I'm saying is, this whole situation is way bigger than ballistics. We got to talk about the children. I'm sorry, the tadpoles. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Point USA is traffic. Just want to be very clear. I'm just saying that everywhere I look in this story, themes of child come up. Okay. Anyway, I am wondering regarding Eddie Farnsworth if it is possible that Mitch saw him because he's a dead ringer for Mark Amadei. When I saw this, I was like, whoa, doppelganger. This man looks like Mark Amadei. He just, and I sent it to Mitch and he said, yes, this man looks very familiar. Again, these are not the people that he contacted me about, but I would like to find out if this could be a connection. I'd like to see if it's possible because the Farnsworth family has deep military ties as well.
The Farnsworth has military ties. Who would have thunk it? Every last one of these damn people are pastor military people. Military pastor people.
I legitimately do not know. I am not making an accusation here. I personally think he looks a lot like Mark Amadei. And as a final point, interestingly enough, connecting a final dot here, Arizona politicians happened to travel down to the Davis-Monthan base for their annual Commanders Summit, where Arizona community leaders meet with military men. This is very close. This is about, Mark, what is this, 40 minutes away from Fort Huachuca?
And Mags, the fire-breathing dragon, where you been? You ain't DM me in a while. Where you been, Mags, the fire-breathing dragon? I don't want to say who you are because I know you be trying to make sure your identity is hidden. But why you ain't DM me, Mags, the fire-breathing dragon? Where you been?
It's a little over an hour north in Tucson.
Okay, in Tucson.
You don't love me no more.
They happened to travel here for their annual Commander Summit on September 9th. That happened. You can.
Y'all hear that right? September 9th. Just in case y'all didn't hear it.
Over an hour north in Tucson.
Okay, in Tucson. They happened to travel here for their annual Commander Summit on September 9th. That happened. You can see this. We're pulling this up on the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base website. It says that they kicked off their Arizona Commanders Summit on September 9th, which provides an opportunity for military commanders and Arizona community leaders to discuss topics impacting military installations. Again, that could obviously just be a coincidence, but it's interesting. It would give them an excuse to be in that region. And so I'd like to know more because the Farnsworth family is coming up too much. Terrell Farnsworth's wife, by the way, people on the internet discovered this. And I'm going to get the name. I don't want to get this name right. I'm going to get this name right. I mean, I don't want to get it wrong. His father-in-law is Thomas Burt, who ran Duncan Aviation. The FBO, I told you, that rented the cars for the feds. He actually ran Duncan Aviation as the executive vice president and COO for 22 years. Now, he did retire. He retired in 2019. There's just a lot of connections here that I think should be explored more about the Farnsworth family.
All right, so let's go a little farther. This is a video. Where is it? Hold on, I gotta get rid of this video. Get rid of this video. And is it this? I think this is. Oh, this is it. This is right here. Okay. We'll try again.
Staff Christina.
Hold on a second, y'all.
His last name right. Thomas Kimono was a man.
So now that we talked about the Farnsworths, the Boyers, and the Fransvays, now we're going to talk a little bit about the one guy that thought he could just disappear and stay away. No, we're going to talk about Rob McCoy with more Tadpole traffic lights on the Turning Point USA faith side.
Who was factually put away into prison for abuse
and M-wording tadpoles.
Young girls by pretending. How he did this was he pretended that his cat was lost. Okay. I'm going to read you an email that I received from one of his victims who is now an adult, but she was just an eight-year-old child back in 1995. Here's what it reads in part. Okay. I was 8 years old living in Dana Point, California, when Thomas approached my friend and I to help him find his cat. He took us to a park behind my house and tried to molest me before I ran away. I was a key witness in his trial before he was sentenced to 8 years in prison.
And he had a year in prison for every year that the girl was alive. He did a year in prison for every year the girl was alive. I just want y'all to think about that.
Multiple girls between 1990 and 1995. Now, you will notice that I am not saying allegedly because he went to prison for this. So this is not, I'm not risking defamation here. She's not lying. We looked into this. In 1990, Camino was placed on probation for pleading no contest to lewd conduct involving children in Manhattan Beach. That's in Orange County. A few years later, he apparently went on a tear to try to lure young girls in an entirely different county. Okay.
So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because a lot of the things that is being talked about is going to get me demonetized. So we're gonna stop right here and go here.
Personally made the call.
So this same guy that went to prison for 8 years for doing the unthinkable is sitting down after he gets out of prison with none other than another Turning Point USA faith member, Rob McCoy. Let's see what happens.
That they can make fun of us and they can claim whatever they want to claim, but I wanted your family protected.
Make fun of us. You went to prison. There's no making fun of you. You actually got convicted and went to prison, sir. Nobody's making fun of him. He actually did it.
So I pulled that. I guess it was a advertisement for the home fellowship, which we do for all the home fellowships.
This is like early 90s, the nice little beach community in Orange County. And I get accused of a crime that I did not commit. It's a falsely accused. It's an underage girl thing.
So as you can hear.
And the premise of the case is there's a guy running around asking people about a lost cat. And
all right, so he's the guy that was running around asking people for, if asking, young people if they can help him find a lost cat. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit because I don't want my channel getting demonetized. So
did 4 years to change. So I did 1,536 days for a crime that I didn't commit.
So it's just all one big conspiracy that involved 2 counties, neighborhoods filled with parents and children. A witness who still to this day remembers and emailed me to remind me about this, people who posted and said this is absurd and brought it forward into Rob's church and said it's absurd that you are allowing him to be around youth.
You heard it right. Allowing him to be around youth. He did this interview in order to get the people in the cult to forgive him for what he did. And this son of a bitch turns around and brings him back, not just into the church, but in charge of more tadpoles. Turning Point USA. I can go on and on and on. I can be here for 2 more hours with the proof of all of the tadpole traffic lights. But some of y'all have seen it before, so I'm not going to go down that road. But one other thing I want to show y'all, and then I want to talk about something very important that needs to be discussed also. So I have some other stuff to talk about after this, but check this out.
Well. So the rolling trick, Greg Abbott, decided he was going to let Turning Point USA open up chapters in public schools inside of his state. And now,
can y'all see my screen? Make sure y'all, can y'all see my screen? Can y'all see my screen? Put a 1 in the chat. Y'all can see my screen.
Now today, there's a domino.
Because this is important. I want to make sure y'all hear this because this goes even farther with their world domination of tadpoles.
Well, so the rolling trick, Greg Abbott, decided he was going to let Turning Point USA open up chapters in public schools inside of his state. And now today, there's a domino effect at play where we're having other red states say it's okay for Turning Point USA to open chapters in their public schools too, effectively to brainwash your children under the guise of Christianity. And I know this for a fact. Now, I could go on and on today about the dark money that's on the flow to Turning Point USA, but there's more digging to do there. What I will tell you is that somebody, and we don't know who because it's dark money and it's being diverted through shell companies, honey, but somebody is sending millions of dollars to Turning Point USA. The only problem is that money is being directed to an empty parking lot in the middle of nowhere.
Now, you know about the empty parking lot already, but it's about why they're sending money to Turning Point. See, nasty men have to make sure their identities are hidden and protected from those nasty men doing nasty things. So they don't just go out doing nasty things. They pay companies, or they help companies, I would say, maintain their hidden identity. So companies will, I would say, facilitate. Okay, they will facilitate certain things to go on. And the donors are the people that come in the back door to take advantage of what the company is facilitating. So they'll go out, and I'm not saying Turning Point USA, because Turning Point USA is innocent and they're perfect. I don't want to get sued. All right. I'm saying another company. Let's see, Turning Wrench USA. Okay. We're going to call it Turning Wrench USA. Plumbers, not Turning Point. All right. Because I don't want to get sued. They would set up campuses across the street from Army bases, which is weird. Well, not weird, but, in order to facilitate certain things. And on top of that, toilet paper. Yeah, we can call them toilet paper, whatever. Turning Plumbers USA. But turning pipes, turning wrenches. But they would facilitate certain environments for these nasty old men, so their wives or the public will never know what is happening. And as long as they keep donating, their anonymity will be protected. So that's literally what's going on. While Turning Wrench USA, not Turning Point USA, is over here setting up chapters in middle schools. And they run around getting people fresh out of high school and shit. So I want to show you this. And some of y'all seen this already, but from a contextual standpoint, this tracks. Y'all seen this before, but this just tracks along with this.
You were recruited at a very young age. How did they take you guys to bars in Scottsdale? Because I remember in your video you said that you guys took a bus that had like stripper poles on it. Right. And then they took you out and got you drunk.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
What years did you work for Turning?
I wasn't too skeptical, I just thought, as anyone else would, it was just a crazy left lunatic that went and shot Charlie because
they follow you. And it's like, why?
In secret little groups while everyone else was, watching the presentations and stuff. And it was like a little secret fan club almost. Like you get to sneak off and go do your own thing for a little bit. And I never.
And remember, he was a tadpole and he's sneaking off while he's drunk.
Bought into it. I just didn't think of it as a good thing. I thought it was really weird and peculiar that would be going on, and let alone no one questioned it.
So were you invited to these secret groups?
Yes.
and you were told certain things about them, but you were kind of just like not interested. So why don't you go more into what you talked about in one of your videos that was removed, where you were approached at one of those bar events by people at Turning Point, and I'll let you describe for yourself what you said about them, what country they affiliated with, and what they said to you.
And shout out to Brandy and Billy. Shout out to Brandy and Billy. They have a great YouTube channel. They actually went live, or they posted a video where they were at AmFest, and they interviewed a lot of people, and a lot of people at AmFest actually spoke against AmFest.
If you want to talk about that a little bit right now.
Yeah. So we went out to the bar. That was the night we went out to the bar with our senior representatives, and they were having us all drink. I had a few drinks myself, I will say.
And remember, he was a tadpole, y'all, fresh out of high school.
And they pulled me outside for a minute to smoke a cigarette with them and talk to them. I declined a cigarette because I'm obviously only 17 and a half. But they start talking to me a little bit, and they're like,
all right, so I'm not going to play the whole thing because y'all seen this before. I'm just showing y'all different examples of how... Here's another one. Here's another one.
Let me tell you a story about when I was 17 at CPAC. So when I was 17, I had like never drank before. I wasn't a cool kid. I didn't go to parties. I was kind of awkward. And so I go to CPAC, and I'm a high schooler. Turning Point brings all these like high school and college students.
What?
All these like high school and college students.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
He said, Blake is my secret weapon. He's the smartest.
So many things to say, but they make you sign everything and anything under the sun. That is why I was so vague. A lot of people were talking about, well, just say what you have to say. Why are you talking like that? Because I can't. I cannot. They are not above suing someone for a video that gets whatever views on TikTok. I was not fired. That was another one that people said a lot. Oh, she had to have been fired. I left on very reasonable terms after seeing what I saw, and knowing what I knew. I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't.
Okay, so I have pled my case, and shout out to Candace for, I'm not going to say finally, but she's going deeper into the tadpole traffic lights situation, because I think that's the thing that needs more attention. You know, shout out to Barron, shout out to Ian, shout out to Coach Colin, shout out to Jesse on Fire, shout out to Sabby Sabs, shout out to all the other content creators speaking on certain things, but nobody's talking about this. I haven't seen a single person talking about the tadpole traffic lights. Maybe they're afraid of, getting demonetized like me. This video may get demonetized, but it's okay. But because certain things have to be talked about, and it just is what it is. But shout out to everybody that is covering all of this. But the thing about it is, I believe that the tadpoles are the biggest part about this. Not the how he was unalived, is the why. And that's just me. And there's something I want to speak on real quick. Speaking of tadpoles and women in particular, and this is a little, I will say, emotional for me. So I'm just going to come out and say it. It has come to my attention that there is women out there, whether it's in the audience or on Instagram, whatever, that are saying that I'm hard on women. I have a problem with women, right? And I want to give y'all an understanding of why y'all may see that, or some people may see that as an observation. So the first thing I want to say, because there's two sides to this. So for anybody that watches my channel or has watched my channel or has said something about me having to do with women, there's two different things I want to say. The first one is I may make a lot of jokes on my show, and some of the jokes involve women, and the women may look at my jokes about women, this woman, that woman, or whatever, as insensitive or offensive. For those women, I would like to apologize. I remember when it was Kamala Harris. I could not stand Kamala. I literally thought she was like the worst. She was the most incoherent person I ever seen in my life. And some of y'all may be fans of Kamala Harris, especially with what Trump is doing now. But I was like, there's no way in hell this incoherent woman could be president. And I wasn't for Trump to be president because I personally always thought Trump was an idiot. But I'm like, Kamala is incoherent. And then a lot of people's like, you hate women. No, I don't think that woman needs to be anybody's president. So does that mean I hate women because I didn't want Kamala to be president? No, I didn't want Trump to be president. But I'm like, why the hell do they got Kamala going up against Trump? This don't make no damn sense. So in certain instances, I would say something about one woman, and then all of a sudden women would think I hate all women. Why can't I not like one woman, and how can it be turned into all women? So that's one example. Another example is on my live streams, I've said multiple times that I think Tyler Boyer, Andrew Covet, Blake Neff, Erika Kirk are idiots. I've said it plenty of times. I've always said these freaking idiots are going to run this country. I mean, not the country, this company into the ground. These stupid idiots are going to literally ruin Charlie Kirk's legacy because they're up to all this crazy mess. That's the reason why Charlie Kirk isn't here. And just because one of the four people that I called idiots is a woman, they'll be like, oh my God, you hate women. I said 3 men were idiots. So I don't hate men too. But just because one of the people, which was Erika Kirk, is in that 4, I all of a sudden hate women. And I just be like, yo, and I'm a man, so I don't know. And I'm just like, yo, why is it that every time I or somebody else says anything negative about a woman, even though I'll say something negative about multiple men, nobody ever says I hate men. But the second I say something about a woman, you hate women. And I'm like, hey, I don't know what y'all want me to do. Now, like I said, if I make jokes about women or something about women, whatever, and it makes you feel, I would say, you know, feel like I'm insensitive, I do apologize for that. But I just want to ask y'all, my audience, and y'all can clip this part up and send it to somebody that like, yeah, Mr. Lego hates women. Send this to them. What does that mean? And to go even farther, why is it that Frank Turek, thank you. I said Frank Turek was an idiot. Yeah, so Frank Turek, Andrew Covet, Blake Neff, and then I add Erika Kirk. You hate women. You don't say nothing about Frank Turek. You don't say anything about Blake Neff. I call Blake Neff a dork. You hate dorks. You don't say that. You didn't say that. So I just don't understand how, and like I said, I'm a man. I don't, I got daughters, but I'm like, why is it that the second you say something negative about a woman, all hell breaks loose? And it's just something that I would like to understand, because I'm not a woman. Maybe you hear something about a woman, Erika Kirk, I don't know. But that's the first thing. And like I said, with the jokes, I might say women be babbling. I even might say sometimes Candace be babbling about something. And the word babbling may make women feel like it's insensitive or offensive. And on that, I would easily apologize on. Okay. So for anybody that I've offended on my show, on social media, anywhere, I apologize. Okay. I like having fun. I like being silly. But if my silliness has offended anybody, I apologize. Like I did a joke where when I was a kid, there was a gas station on a prostitute laden street or strip, I would say, that where you can actually get some gas and then you can sleep with a woman in your back seat while your car is being filled up. And I said the gas station was called at the Ass and Gas station. And that may have offended women, where you're just like, how dare you say something like that? That's insensitive. I apologize. So that was one of the jokes or the things that I would just, talk about, but that was a true thing. But when we're talking about all this traffic light stuff, you may feel like maybe she was being, traffic lighted, and you're making light of a woman's experience. Maybe she had to do that. I understand. So I'm just letting y'all know that I understand. Okay. There are people in my circle that will pull me to the side and be like, stop that. And I'm like, cool. All right. So the second thing, though, is some women may say that I'm harder on women than other men are. And I can agree with that. Does anybody want to guess why I'm harder on women than other men are? I'm not harder on women than women are. But does anybody want to guess why I'm harder on women than other men or other content creators are? And I've been like this. I have 2 daughters. But does anybody want to guess before I, share? Okay, I'll share. So a lot of people for years have said I'm harder on women than other men. One of the reasons is I coach women. I have been coaching women, men also, but mainly women. I've been having or facilitating women's coaching groups for, I would say, the last 10 years. And one thing I've learned through my coaching of women is that women are harder on women than anybody. And I'm going to get into that in a second. I am a person that advocates for women and children. And I've spoken about my young life under the supervision of my own mother. And even though she loved me to life, my mom loved me, she put me and us, me and her, in the most terrible, compromising, terrifying situations imaginable. And I've talked about this before on another live stream, but I think it's important for this to be reiterated because of this conversation about Mr. Let Go hates women. Since I coach women and 3 things. I coach women, I have daughters, and 3, I was raised by a single mom that almost killed me a few times. Almost killed me. She didn't almost kill me. but her decisions almost killed me a few times. It was a time, and this is all in my book. I have a book, wrote a book years ago called The Terrible Life of a Beautiful Woman, because my mother was a beautiful woman, but I had a terrible life and she had a terrible life because of her beauty. It was a point where me and my mom took me away from my dad, and I'm not mad at her because she brought me into well, Atlanta is a way better city than Philadelphia. But when we moved here, my aunt actually said we can live with her as long as my mom gets a job. And my mom was like a party girl. And there's nothing wrong with a party girl, but my mom was a party girl. But unbeknownst to my aunt, she didn't know that my mom wasn't the type of person that enjoyed working a job. So my aunt was like, come on down to Atlanta and we got you. So she was staying with my aunt, and I was living there also, and I was a little kid. And as a kid, I would hear everything in the household because I'm a kid. You know, I'm in every room. I'm playing with a dog. So I'm over in the corner playing with a dog. I'm doing this. And I will overhear, like, why won't she get a damn job? Like, what the hell is she doing? If she don't get a job, I'm going to put her ass out. And I'm like, I'm a kid. I can't go to my mom and say, hey, my auntie said this. I don't know what's going on. And I kept hearing that my mom, if she doesn't get a job, my aunt is going to put us out. And one day, guess what? She put us out. And right before that, we came down to Atlanta in an old beat up car, right? And when we came down here, my mom parked somewhere that she wasn't supposed to park and got the damn car towed. And she didn't have enough money to get it out of tow. And then they turned around and broke in the car and took all the stuff or whatever. And now we ain't got no car. And I had to hear that from my aunt. My aunt was like, why the hell would she park? I told her not to park over there. And she parked over there anyway and got the damn car towed. So our prized possession, which is our car, with all of our stuff in it, well, some of our stuff in it, because some of the stuff was in the house. But you know how you leave stuff in the trunk or whatever? All of our prized possessions, like, you know, photo albums and all this other stuff, when you move, you still have stuff in the trunk because there's not enough room to bring all this stuff into a house when you live with another person. So you kind of like leave stuff in the trunk. So all our prized possessions was in the damn trunk, and my mom parked somewhere she wasn't supposed to park, got the damn car towed, and couldn't afford to get it out of tow, and it just whatever. And I'm just like, I'm a kid, so I don't know. But I'm just hearing all this because my aunt and my mom was arguing back and forth about stuff, right? But it's just like my mom just kept doing stupid stuff. So my mom ended up getting us put out because she refused to get a job. Refused to get a job. Next thing you know, we're literally living on the street. Living on the street. And I don't have an understanding of time because I'm a child. I'm like 5 at this time, 6, whatever. And we end up being at this motel. If anybody is from Atlanta, you'll know about the Alamo Motel. If you're from Atlanta, put Atlanta in the chat. And are you familiar with the Alamo Hotel? And remember I talked about Stewart Avenue with the ass for gas and all the prostitutes and all this other stuff? Guess what? The motel that we stayed at was on that same strip with all the drug dealers and all the prostitutes. Put Atlanta in the chat if you're from Atlanta or you live in Atlanta. Are you familiar with the Alamo Motel? We lived at the Alamo Motel. Me and my mama. Prostitutes everywhere. The Alamo Motel is the most disgusting, terrible place you would ever see in life. And that's where we living. And at some point, We almost died 2 times there because of what was going on around us. And I don't want to get into that because I don't want to get demonetized. But it is in my book, The Terrible Life of a Beautiful Woman. Stewart Avenue. Stewart Avenue, Stewart Avenue, Stewart Avenue, Stewart Avenue. It is now called Metropolitan Boulevard, but it was Stewart Avenue back then. After that, you know, I have no idea who, what, when, where, and why. We started living in a group home. We're living in a group home. Other battered, sheltered people or whatever. We wasn't battered. It was just, my mom was just making badass decisions. Remember, we had someone to live at, but my mom refused to get a job, and my auntie put her ass out. So now we're living in a group home. For whatever reason, we had to leave the group home. I don't know. And then we leave the group home. And now we're living with some random ass people. We're living with some random people. I don't know who the hell these people are. We're living with some random people. We leave those people, and then we start living with some old lady on Little Street in Atlanta. Somewhere near all of this is near Stewart Avenue, and but now we're living near the Atlanta Zoo. Atlanta Zoo. So you're familiar with Atlanta Zoo. That's a bad area already. And now we're living with some old ass lady, and I don't know what's going on. I'm going to elementary school over there with the old lady. She's a nice old lady, but I'm like, who the hell? What are we doing? So we live with this old ass lady. Not saying anything bad about her. I'm just saying we live with an old person. And it smells like old people. I don't know what's going on. She can't really walk. And all of a sudden we leave there and we're living with some more people. And I'm just like, what the hell are we doing? What's happening? And then all of a sudden we lived in projects. And I'm like, finally, we get our own place. I don't know how we get our own place, but apparently my mom was waiting on a Section 8 voucher in order to get Section 8. And now we're living in the projects. I'm thinking things are going to get better. We're kind of like grounded. We now have an address. And I'm thinking my mom was going to go get a job and, you know, do whatever. Do you know my mom? Because, you know, I got holes in my shoes. I'm going to school. We're poor as hell. And me and my mom was still close. And I go to my mom and I'm like, yo, mom, like, you going to get a job? And my mom literally sat me down and said, well, we're on Section 8. And as a government, my mom said this, and as a government, program where I don't have to work. Huh? You don't have to work. She was happy not to work. And I'm like, all right, so we're there. I'm 6, 7. I'm getting in fights in school because I am literally an alien from another planet because I'm from Philly. I still have a different type of my dialect, how I was talking from Philly versus Atlanta. And I'm getting in fights in school because the kids are laughing at me. And, since if you're not from there, you're going to get into fights. 6, 7. Yeah, 6, 7. And next thing you know, I kind of like start learning how to operate in the streets or whatever, the streets, right? But throughout this time of us being in these projects, my mom started dating these terrible, disgusting bum of men. And I was able to see who these bum ass men were because they would hang out at the plaza in front of the liquor store. So imagine you passing the liquor store with your mom after grocery shopping at the neighborhood grocery store. And then one of these dudes at the liquor store starts smashing your mom. A dude that was hanging outside a liquor store is now in my house banging my mom. And I'm like, what is happening? And then it gets worse. They start beating on my mom. Slap my mom around and stuff. I'm like 6, 7 years old. I wake up in the middle of the night, arguments, my mom getting, slapped around or whatever. And the only thing I really want to be able to do is protect my mother from these terrible men. And of course, at this time, because I'm a kid, I don't know that my mom was making choices to be with these men. But I'm thinking like, I'm going to protect my mother from these terrible men. And by the time I'm 13, 7 years of different men just slapping my mom around. 7 years of this. And remember, before this, we damn living on the street or living in random people's apartments and living in prostitute-ridden motels. And my mom has never gotten a job ever in my life. I never in my life seen my mom have a job. I love my mom. My mom loved me though, but she just didn't make the best decisions for her own life. So through this 7 years of men doing all this stuff, the men would come in the back with me sometimes to play with me. I would help me build a fort, little stuff. Hey, what you doing? Little stuff like that. So he'll be in a, guys will be in the back room with me, just trying to get to know me or whatever. They'll buy me some Reeboks. They'll buy me some stuff, buy me a bike, or, little stuff like that, right? But these men had full dominion over our apartment. Full dominion. Because he'll walk back, hey, Aaron, hey, whatever. And nothing crazy. But they literally had full dominion over the entire apartment. Different men. Which means if they wanted to, they could have M-worded me. But they didn't because they weren't in the boys. Lucky me, right? I'm going to tell you, because this is the reason why I'm bringing all this up. If I was a girl, knowing how much freedom those men had from the living room to the back room, from the living room to the back room, whenever they wanted to, I would have got it. I would have got N-worded if I was a girl. That's a guarantee. Because remember, these guys were ingrates. These guys were corner dudes. I would walk by the dudes and I would hear what they would say to women because I would have to go up to the plaza to buy cigarettes. Yes, my mom would send me to buy cigarettes as a child. There was a warehouse that sold all kinds of stuff in bulk, and I would buy cigarettes for my mom as a child. So I was up on a plaza all the time. So those dudes were the most terrible humans on the planet because I would be up there with them, just going back and forth, buying stuff at the different places on the plaza. So these weren't good men. I seen what they did. If I was a girl, I would have got N-worded. Why is that important? My mother did not protect me. I just happened to be a boy. So I didn't really need protection. So if I was a girl, I would have got N-worded. My mom did not protect me. And the reason why that's so important is because I advocate for the unprotected children, the children that are unprotected in their mother's houses right now. I am an advocate for fatherless children. So I protect women from men, but I also protect children from women. There's a book that in my coaching group, we always went over different books. And one of the books that we went over was a book called You're Not Crazy, It's Your Mother. You're Not Crazy, It's Your Mother. Great book. And in my coaching group as an adult, I'm just fast forwarding a little bit, we would go over different books. And as I coach women, I would hear that they weren't protected either. And not only were they not protected as little girls, when they were M-worded, 1 in every 4 young girls were M-worded, y'all. And that's just the girls, because boys were M-worded also. Luckily, I wasn't. So 1 in every 4 females were M-worded under the supervision of their mothers. 1 in every 4. So that would say 1 in every 4 of the people in the comments that are female were M-worded. I'm not going to call y'all out because I don't know, but I don't want you to call yourself out. But 1 in every 4 of the people watching right now is 1,000 people watching. And 1 in every 4 of you have been M-worded. And you may say, yeah, by men. Yes, I agree. By men. Y'all know what M-worded means. M, child, adult. Stop. Y'all know what M-worded means. Okay. I'm not going to go back and forth with y'all about what M-worded means. Can't say certain things. And don't say it in the chat. Y'all know what it means. So this is important for y'all to understand. The reason why I'm hard on women is because virtually every last one of us, whether male or female, our mother was our primary guardian. 95% of y'all who are watching me, your mother was your primary guardian. And because our mothers are and was all of our and our kids' primary guardians, it's important for women to make sure they are on task. They are making sure that they're getting therapy and doing the best thing that they can to make sure they protect themselves from themselves and protect their children from the mother. Because the thing about it is, in order for the little girl to get M-worded, they got to get through the mother. How is every 1 out of every 4 girl being M-worded when they're under the supervision of their mother? Well, even though it was about a man, there's a thing that nobody ever wants to talk about, which is how. How did that man get to them? Anybody? How did that man get to you? How did that man get to your sister? How did that man get to your best friend that told you what happened? How did that man get to you? Because those men got to me, they just didn't want me. They were cordial with me, but they were able to get access to me also. They just didn't want access to me. I was just a little kid, but they didn't want it, so I was saved. But they had access. They had full access to come in my bedroom. So I said, charm. No. Your mother. Your mother. Your mother gave them access to you. Your mother. My mother. And I know this. Some of y'all are single mothers now, and you got a little girl. And I know what may or may not be happening in your household behind your back that you may either ignore or may just be oblivious of, or may not have happened, or may not have happened yet. So I say, why are you yelling? Because I'm emotional, okay? That's why I'm yelling. I'm emotional. I'm sad. I'm mad. Because for women, some women, to actually accuse me of hating women when I advocate for the children of the women, and due to the fact that I advocate for the children of the women, and I look at some of you or some of your mothers or some women as the reason why you or your children or other children are getting M-worded in real time over and over and over again, you get mad at me. You hate women. Some women hate themselves enough to the point where they allow certain things to happen to their little girls. And I have daughters. And because I have daughters, I have an overexcited nervous system when it comes to stuff like this. And fathers as well, I literally said 90% of humans have a primary guardian that is female. I said that. So men, people don't get M-worded when they're under their father. Does it happen? Yes. But how often does that happen? Not that often. Because who's going to come in and do it? A man? No. His girlfriend? No. But when it's a mother, she's bringing in a man. See, a man ain't going to bring a man in his house. A man is going to bring a woman in his house. So it mainly happens where the primary guardian is a woman, not a man. So as I continue, how did that man get to them? In most of these situations, and y'all let me know if I'm right or wrong. In most of these situations, how did the girl get M-worded? Is either by the mother's brother, the mother's boyfriend, or the babysitter the mother entrusted. Is either the uncle, the mother's brother, the boyfriend, the non-biological guy that's just living in the house, or the babysitter that the mother trusted. I've lived with women who had children. Did not happen because I'm a good person. But women have a tendency to get with a guy, like him. Next thing you know, her and her kids move in with him without being married, without even really knowing the guy, or move a guy in with her and her children. Next thing you know, something happens. And I'm just going down a rabbit hole on why I'm harder on women than other men are. I know your secrets. I know your mother's secrets. I'll say it again. I know your mother's secrets. I know what your mother said when you went to your mother and said, Uncle Jimmy did A, B, and C to me. I know what your mother said to you when your mother's boyfriend did A, B, and C, and you went to your mother and said, Mom, your boyfriend did A, B, and C. She looked at you like you were crazy. She looked at you like you had a second head. She didn't protect you. She didn't believe you. I've been coaching women for 10 years. I done heard it all. I've heard it all. I read all of the books. I read all of the childhood trauma books. All of the Disney movies. Evil Stepmother. Every last cartoon you've ever seen in your life had a mother that treated her daughter or stepdaughter like shit? You ever wonder why every Disney cartoon was the same thing? Every off with her head. Name one. Was it Snow White? Why the hell was Snow White in the goddamn? Sorry. Why the hell was Snow White in the damn woods with some little boys? They weren't dwarves. They were little boys. What was the movie with the damn the rabbit when they went down the rabbit hole? The little girl with the dress off with her head. That was a woman that said off with her head. Every last one of these cartoons was a woman abusing another woman. Every last one. Alice in Wonderland, thank you. Even the one with the damn dogs. Every last movie. What was the little 101 Dalmatians? Is a damn woman. Do you think this is like made up? No. It is a fact that not all, but a huge amount of women abuse their daughters. It's a thing. See, we all talk about daddy issues. Nobody talks about mommy issues. I know your secrets. Other men don't. I've been counseling women for 10 years. I know your secrets. So how did those men get to them? Either the mother's brother, the mother's boyfriend, or the babysitter. And you may say, well, you can't blame the mother. How can you not? You can't blame the mother when she either allowed or either ignored her own brother all up in her house with her doing A, B, and C. That's not okay. She's not a victim. The daughter is a victim, not the mother, the daughter. So remember I said, this is an indirect thing because the mother didn't do the thing. The man did the thing. So the man is a big bad wolf. But the woman is the facilitator in a lot of these situations to facilitate the big bad wolf to eat the little piggies. So this is an aspect that I've always talked about on all of my platforms due to the fact that I've been coaching women for 10 years and I know all the damn secrets. See, most men don't know how much trauma that comes from a woman's own mother. I created a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. Some of y'all have bought it. Put a 1 in the chat if you bought my Mother, Like Daughter card game. We're sold out right now. So you can still buy the card game, but I'm reordering. So it's going to take like 30 days to get them, but you can buy the card game. But I created a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. And it's meant to help orchestrate a conversation between the mother and the daughter as adults or either while the daughter is little. And do you know it's hundreds of women that were afraid to buy the card game because they're afraid of their own mother as adults? I'll say it again. Many women would say, oh, I'm afraid to play that card game with my mother as an adult woman. I'm going to say it a third time. Many women have said, oh, I'm afraid to play that card game with my mom. Why? Or either a woman would say, I don't want to play that card game because it's going to bring up so much of my suppressed anger in my past. I don't want to go through that again in my head because a lot of women suppressed what went on in their young lives. And it's almost like they don't even remember that it happened, and it's how they protect themselves. So they don't want to go through that again. So much trauma that went through that so many like millions of women have went through, but because they suppressed it, they almost forgot that their mother is the one that put them in these situations. And I'm not saying you need to blame your mother, but you need to know where your trauma actually came from. Yes, it happened from a man, but who facilitated it? Who allowed it? Who denied you of protection of it? A woman. So do I hate women, dislike women? No. I just know your secrets. And because I know your secrets, I know what you are lying to yourself about. And all this you hate women is a projection. You just don't want me to re-traumatize you by just talking about certain things, or you don't want me to make you feel guilty about what you allowed to happen in your life, or your bad decisions, just like my mom made bad decisions. And you like to, you meaning somebody, not just you feel the need to push me to not talk about certain things by saying you hate women. I love women. I got women as daughters. I'm hard on my own daughters. So I'm a man that's hard on women because I'm hard on my own daughters. My daughters love me, but I'm hard on them. So the thing about it is, when you say something like that, it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't offend me. It just says more about you than it says about me. Because when a woman says you hate women, oh, you're one of those. And it's not a bad thing. You're a person that is so hurt and traumatized where the only way you seek refuge in your own head is by making me a terrible person, by reminding you of what happened to you and how your mother did not protect you. And you don't want that narrative to run in your head. So instead of remembering how your mother did not protect you, you say, I hate women. And it's okay. The thousands. Hold on, let me just say this, because I got a couple notes. There's a book called You're Not Crazy, It's Your Mother. And it illustrates, along with many other childhood trauma books, how emotionally manipulative mothers have been to their own daughters. And this is a mother-daughter thing, y'all, because our mothers sadly give so much more love and everything else to their sons, but not their daughters. There's a woman that I dated that had 2 kids. I have no problem dating a woman that has kids. She named both of her daughters male names. Not John, but they were male names. And I asked her one day, I was like, is there a reason why you gave both of your daughters male names? She said, because I wanted a son both times. And I was so angry that I was giving birth to a girl that I just gave them a male name. I ended up breaking up with her. I want y'all to think about that. There's so many women that hated the fact that they're about to give birth to a girl. instead of a boy. She gave both of her daughters male names because she was so angry that she was having a girl both times that she said, forget it, I don't care. You're going to get a male name. There's a lot of women who in some type of way act like that. And they treat their daughters like crap because they wish they had a son. But there are thousands of scenarios of women saying, my mom kept me from my dad for no reason. Put a 1 in the chat if your mom kept you away from your dad for no reason. Your dad wasn't a terrible person. He wasn't an abuser. Your mom just kept you away from your dad. So going back to the topic of the show, who is a primary alleged culprit to the facilitation of the Tadpole traffic lights at Turning Point USA? I'm going to ask the question again because we're going back to the topic now. We're going back to the topic of the show. Who is the primary alleged culprit of the Tadpole traffic lights in this Turning Point USA situation? Put the name in the chat. Who is the primary facilitator, alleged culprit of the Tadpole traffic lights in this Turning Point USA situation? A woman! A freaking woman! Actually, 2 women. Erika Kirk and Erika Kirk's mother. And I am not saying that Turning Point USA or Erika Kirk or Erika Kirk's mother did anything to anybody. I said alleged. And I did say facilitation because they didn't do anything. They didn't do the thing. They did the thing for somebody else to do the thing, allegedly. I said facilitator. So when any of you get in my comments, and you're welcome to say it, I'm not, you're welcome. I don't run around blocking people. But I need y'all to understand that in every Tadpole traffic light situation, there's a primary facilitator that is a woman. You know why? Because nobody trusts men. There's always this, men are bad. Don't trust strangers. Stranger danger. So because of that, they need a woman to be all nice and sweet and happy. Hi, hello, little girl. Hey, little boy. Come with me in order for the Tadpole traffic lights to actually happen. Oprah, Erika Kirk, Ghislaine Maxwell. Do you know how close Oprah and Epstein was? Put a 1 in the chat if you're familiar with how close Epstein was with Oprah. Put a 1 in the chat if you're knowledgeable about how close Epstein was with Oprah. Put a 1 in the chat if you're aware that Oprah has a school out in Africa. And that school has been out there for I don't know how long. And every year there has been strange missing people. There's always a woman. Diddy. Let's talk about Diddy for a second. Let me play a video real quick about Diddy. There's always a Ghislaine Maxwell. There's always a woman that is in the middle of all this shit. But no, we don't want to talk about the women. We want to talk about the men, the men, the big bad wolf. Every last one of these big bad wolves had a second in command that was a damn woman. And you think I'm not going to get on this internet and say what women are doing? No. There's always a woman that is a facilitator of all this shit. So if you think I hate women just because I'm holding women accountable to their part in this, even though they didn't do this part, they did this part, you're sadly mistaken. Let me play this video real quick.
Christina Quorum is Meet Christina Quorum, the chief of staff at Combs Enterprises. Christina, aka KK, keeps everything in it.
All right. So this is Diddy's second in command. Because like I told you, in every one of these situations is a woman that's second in command. Because it's her job to facilitate everything. Thinking I ain't gonna talk about the damn women. I'm only gonna talk about the men. And the day I talk about the women like Erika Kirk, you hate women. No.
Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Quorum, is panicking right now. Meet Christina Quorum, the chief of staff at Combs Enterprises. Christina, aka KK, keeps everything in my life and my business running. She has been my right-hand man for over the last 8 years and has consistently proven to execute and get stuff done. I don't know how I would function without her. Christina Quorum was really getting stuff done for Diddy. He wasn't lying about that. I can guarantee you she is probably shaking right now after Diddy's assistant gave that bombshell interview and included all of these receipts and text messages from Christina Quorum. This man testified to the grand jury and they have all of this information. And I would be even more terrified if I was Christina Quorum after seeing the way that Diddy's indictment is actually wrote.
And did Christina Quorum do any prison time? No. Because she's a woman. She's a woman.
That this is exactly why this woman went ghost on all of her social medias and deleted her LinkedIn. After Cassie Ventura broke her lawsuit, look who was right by Diddy's side while he was crying like a baby. In my opinion,
Christina Quorum. Shout out to Crystal. Sorry, I'm seeing this late. I'm right there with you. My mother stole me in the middle of the night and took me to Mexico, dropped me off. This is so real. If you're a beautiful woman like your mother, hold on. Drop me off is real. If you're a beautiful woman like your like my mother. Okay. Yeah. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. And thank you, Jane, for becoming a member. Birds of a feather flock together 1,000%. So I'm gonna keep playing this, but I just needed to say something, y'all, because people like, Miss Lego hates women. Because I'm the only man on the internet that will actually say something about what women are doing. Other people are too afraid of them. You know why? Because they have a huge female audience. My audience is 60% women and 40% men. I have more women that are in my chats and watch my videos than men. You don't think I'm gonna have some smoke with women sometimes too? I'm not kissing nobody's ass. And maybe I would be a multi-millionaire if I was an ass kisser and I run around kissing women's asses and I ignore what women do and only shit on what the men do. I'd probably be a millionaire and have a million subscribers. That's not me. It's just going to take me a little longer because I have the balls to hold everybody accountable, not just men. Christina Quorum, her ass needs to be in prison just like Diddy.
I think Christina is going to be Diddy's Ghislaine. Keep in mind that she has now been named as a defendant in 3 different lawsuits with Diddy.
Thank you, Kim.
At Cassie in the same
Love you
exact
too.
seat in Diddy's Miami house. Like, look at this.
Put a 1 in the chat if you're a woman. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a woman. I just want to show that the majority of the people that watch my content is women, not men. So if you're a woman, just put a 1 in the chat. I want y'all to see how many ones are in the chat. The majority of the people that watch my stuff is women. How the hell do I hate women? Where my audience has always been like at least 60 to 80% women.
I found this picture today and my heart was absolutely shattered. When Cassie Ventura finally got the strength to walk away.
See, Cassie Ventura, one of the reasons why it was so hard for her to walk away was because of Christina Coram, not Diddy. It was Christina.
That this woman went through, you have enough narcissistic attributes to even post something like this?
See, this is Christina Coram, not Diddy. This woman is talking about Christina, not Diddy.
Cassie posted this post June 13th, 2019, announcing her pregnancy with Alex Fine.
Thank you, Sonia.
June 14th of 2009, wrote, "Congratulations, Cassie and Alex. I wish you the best." Makes me so sick to my stomach after everything that.
See, Christina Coram is being catty and still running around harassing Cassie after going through all the things that Cassie went through. I wish I had the other video of how they pulled off an R wording. I don't think I have it. And how Christina Coram was right there with her, right there with Diddy, handing him all the stuff. So yes, Diddy was a terrible person, but Christina Coram was his right hand man. I don't have the video. I must have deleted it. But my whole point is, just because I hold women accountable like Erika Kirk and Erika Kirk's mother doesn't mean I hate women. And I'm never going to understand that. Can I adjust things? Can I be a little bit more loving? Yeah. I could be less off-putting. Yes. Like I said, I apologize earlier if I was insensitive in anything that I've said in my content, and I will do better. But one thing I'm never going to do is ignore the shit women do and just run around shitting on what men do all day long. I'm never going to do that. And I never have. Because in all honesty, when it comes to kids in particular, women need to be held to the fire more. Because women are, like I said earlier, the primary guardians of 90% of humans. Women are the primary guardians of 90% of the humans on the planet. A lot of us grew up in single mother households. A lot of y'all are single mothers. During a divorce, the child goes with the woman. So whether you were married, divorced, single, whatever, if you got a kid, your kid lives with you. So hell yeah, I'm going to be harder on you than I am on men. I don't give a damn about a man being drunk and all this other stuff. He ain't coming home to his kid. You are. So you can't do certain things that your baby daddy, your ex-husband can do. He could be all in the strip clubs. He need to be taking care of his kid, but his kid don't live with him. He could be bringing chicks back to the house. Ain't nobody there, but you can't because you're the primary guardian. So it's not fair, but at the end of the day, you can't do the same things that men can do. So if you go do the same things that men are doing and your child is at home, I'm going to say something about it. Because my number one goal is to advocate for children. My secondary goal is to advocate for women. But children come first because there's nobody else there to protect them. And I've been like this, and I will always be like this. So I just needed to say this for all of the people that think I hate women. It's actually the opposite. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's because I love women. We all love women. Y'all love women just like I love women. So that's not even the point. But the fact that my love is in correction and a lot of other men's love is not, is none of my business. Part of my love for women is correction. And a lot of you ladies, women, period, they're not used to being corrected. But love is correction. And my correction is love. And my love is correction. And if you see my correction as lack of love, as hate, that's a you thing. You have a maladaptive way of seeing life. Because that's really what it is. A woman to hear or see me correct a woman, and then she'll say, I hate the woman, even though I'm trying to correct her. That is a maladaptive way of thinking. It's actually something, a scientific word called damage neuroception. When you see things the opposite of what it's supposed to be. You ever heard, put a one in the chat if you ever heard this. A woman would see a good guy as but she'll be like, she'll see a bad boy and she's like, Put a one in the chat if you ever seen that. You ever seen a woman, she's more into a bad boy, but she'll see a good guy as she gets the ick because he's a good guy? Put a one in the chat if you ever seen that or heard of that. That's called damage neuroception. So when you see my correction of women as a bad thing, there's a possibility that you may be suffering from something called damaged neuroception. Because there's nowhere in hell that correction is hate. That don't make no damn sense. Bridget said me. And it's okay. Women be like to get choked, all that stuff. And it is cool. I'm not a woman, so I ain't got nothing to do with it. But don't take my roughness, my accountability, my correction, my telling you that you're doing something wrong, instead of taking your word for things, or me not just victimizing or letting you be the victim all the time, as hate. I'm never going to do that. I look at things from an objective standpoint, and it's how I always parented my children. And with all that being said, let me show y'all something from my children before we go. I'm going to let my own daughter tell you how she is parented by me. Hold on one second. I got to remove one of these videos. Hold on one second, y'all. I'm going to let my own daughter tell you how she was parented by me and how much she appreciates me correcting her.
Actually playing the card game in real time.
We're here.
Okay, so what are y'all's?
So this is one of the videos. This is one of my daughters and their mother.
Experience of actually playing the card game in real time. Hey, you there?
Yes, I'm here. We're here.
Okay, so what are y'all's experience of playing the like mother, like daughter card game in real time?
Oh, it's good. It's a lot of fun. It open up the conversation because it go beyond just the questions that are being asked. So it allows us to definitely feel liberty, like freedom to talk about things that we didn't probably haven't even talked about. So it's good. It's really, really good. We're really enjoying ourselves.
Good. So you have
highly recommend it. I do highly recommend it for all mothers and daughters to definitely participate and take part in it.
That's what's up. So you have your own deck too. Have you been asking her some questions? Because there's a mother deck and there's a daughter deck.
Yes, we both have our deck, and we've been taking turns pulling from the stack, pulling from the deck. We'll take turns. She asks a question, then I'll ask the next question. So yes, we've been asking each other questions. So it's been really, really good.
What did you learn about your own kids, or what did the girls learn about you that one of you did not know after playing it since, thus far?
Like one of the dreams that if we had our option, something that we dreamed that we would want to do together. So, and it come to find out, we both had the same dream that was something that we wanted to do together. So it was that was really, really good.
And this is an example of how my kids have a great relationship with their mother, and I really appreciate that, because I help facilitate that, and it's a beautiful thing.
Always been open with our girls. We have always allowed them. We have always been open with our girls. We have always allowed them the freedom of speech and to be able to have a voice, basically. So some of these cards were geared towards, I guess, ones who haven't, to open up more conversations. For people who haven't had the opportunity to have a voice or anything.
Yeah.
And there's some people out there who have open parents, and their open parents did it wrong. So that's what I'm saying. It could be another version of parents who have been, mothers who have been too open.
So you think we've been too open?
No, she always give us credit for that. She always have said that I'm so glad that y'all were our parents. So you look at her other peers or whatever, and was like, you and dad did it right. Y'all got it right. I'd be like, you just saying that because I'm your mom, but she'd be like, no, I'm for real, mama. Seriously.
So Tyler, you think we did good as parents?
I did great as parents.
Oh, thank you. Hold on. So I was better though, right?
Oh my goodness. It's not a competition.
I'm joking.
Hey,
Daddy.
Hey. All right. So this is another video of talking to my daughter. Listen to her. Listen to this. Hey,
Daddy.
Hey.
First of all, in all situations, I feel as though the parents set the tone. So I always knew that you would, number one, be there, even though there was a divorce. But you just...
She's talking about when me and her mom divorced.
Just setting that tone to let me know you was always going to be a provider and be there. I guess I may have had a very different experience than most people. And I never want to be insensitive to what people have went through. But the dynamic of everything that happened, it became beneficial. There was beneficial in my adult life that I learned from what I went through when I was a child.
How was it beneficial?
So it was okay. So for instance, moving from one side of town to a whole nother different side of town, me knowing that my dad operated a certain way, I used everything that happened and everything you taught me to make sure that I didn't go the wrong path or anything like that. Compared to if he was in a household while I was going through those things as a young teen, I probably would have been a little bit more like acting out type of.
Yeah.
Like,
so I gave you more of a system and structure on how to deal with the outside world.
Yes. And since you wasn't there, but you still was an aid, I had essentially what I needed.
Let me ask you a question, because Corey Holcomb said, she just like her mama. I can't deal with her. You just like your mama. And my question to you is, between me and your mama, you are just like who between me and your mama?
I would say I'm more like you.
Okay. So take that for anybody who says, you hate women. My daughter's just like me. So apparently she hates women too. Damn it. So I think it was important for me to close with this because it goes right along with the whole topic of it's okay to hold women accountable for things that we always hold men accountable for. And in this situation, regardless of how y'all want to look at it, a woman is the CEO of this goofball ass company. And a woman is running all of this. And a woman could literally put it all to bed. And on top of that, there's another woman holding that woman accountable, which is Candace Owens. So that means there's a woman that is a piece of crap, and there is a woman that is operating like a female Martin Luther King, holding it down for her best friend, Candace Owens. And Erika Kirk and Candace Owens is a perfect example of the dichotomy of a woman. Some women are terrible people. Some women are literally putting young people in danger and they don't give a damn. But then there are some women like Candace Owens, who is a mother of 4, married, a loving woman that cares about her community, that has standards, that has values, and she's woman enough to hold another woman accountable without anybody saying she hates women. Because I promise you, if Candace Owens was a man, everybody be like, oh my God, you're attacking that woman. You're bashing Erika Kirk. Oh my God. If Candace Owens was a man, if Candace Owens' name was John Owens hates women. I want y'all to think about that. If Candace Owens was a man, they would say she hates women and is bashing Erika Kirk. But because she's a woman, we like, yeah. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see how problematic that is? It takes a woman to try to shut down this damn disgusting ass company that is facilitating tadpole traffic lights. Do you know the reason why they put a woman at the top and have this goofy ass woman crying and patting her face every time you see her? In order to get y'all to ignore the stupid shit that they're doing, they put a woman as CEO on purpose. This woman don't know what the hell she's doing. They sat her ass up there so y'all can feel sorry for her, so they can keep running around doing the same bullshit that they've been doing for the last 5 years. See, womanhood can sometimes be an umbrella for debauchery. But since the head of the thing is a woman, and she's always like, everybody's bullying me. Oh my God, I didn't do anything wrong. Now you're just gonna let them get away with shit? Do y'all realize if Candace Owens was not heading this would not even be a story? Nobody would be talking about Charlie Kirk and his death and the tadpole traffic lights and digging if it wasn't a woman holding Erika accountable. Because anybody else who would be a man would be looked at as a terrible human being for bashing Erika Kirk. Y'all got to wake up. But does anybody have any questions or any comments? I want to drop the link. I ain't dropped the link in a minute. I'm going to drop the link. If anybody wants to come up and share their opinion about all of this. So I'll drop the link if anybody wants to come up and share their opinion on all this. Because I was pissed off today. So I'm going to play the like button song and I'm going to come back and bring some people up. All right. So let's do this. All right. So I'm going to play the like button song. And if you want to come up, I'm going to drop the link. I'll drop the link if anybody wants to come up. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Everybody hit the like button. 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 If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city. Wet. Drop your city in the chat. What? Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. Drop your city in the chat. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Just do it. Just do it.
All right, y'all. Nobody has come up, so I am out of here. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day.